Hello, friends. I'm going to read a new Lewis and Clark story to you, and it is called "Rivers to the Streams to the Sea." Let me just make sure of that. I have it on my nook. Streams to the river, river to the sea. I'm glad I checked. Excuse me. I'm reading it on my nook, and let's see. This book has 27 chapters, and it is by Scott Odell. That's why I chose it. That's right. Scott Odell. So Scott Odell is a very well-known writer, and I love his books. So let's get started. And this was written in 1986. Chapter 1. We were gathering black caps on the stream above the place where the three big rivers meet. Summer was almost gone, but there were still a few sweet berries hidden deep in the bushes where bears and deer could not find them. It was close to dusk. We had come to the stream at early dawn, and both of us were weary, almost too weary to talk. My cousin Running Deer said, "Have you heard the squirrels chattering over there on the far bank in that big tree? Not the cottonwood tree, the other one." "Yes, ever since the sun left us," I said. "Do you hear them now?" I dropped a handful of black caps in the basket and listened. "Not a sound," I said. "They must hear something." My cousin was nervous. She was always nervous. When a storm was coming, also when it came, also at nightfall, if she was not safe by the fire, she was nervous. "Squirrels hear a lot of things," I said to calm her. "They have better ears than we do, and they hear more things than we do, things not worth hearing." "Don't you think it's time to go?" she asked me. "A few more handfuls will fill the basket," I said. "Nothing looks more shiftless than a basket that's only half full." I got down on my knees. I picked faster now. My cousin did not help me. The squirrels had started to chatter again, and she was listening. Suddenly, the squirrels were silent. It was very quiet in the meadow now. I heard nothing except the fuzzy drone of mosquitoes, and down the stream the bark of a dog. From the opposite direction and near at hand, I heard a different sound, the high, drawn-out cry of a wolf. Running Deer said, "Wolves, many of them." "Only one," I said, "but one can sound like many." The path back to our camp was through a patch of chokecherries, a fine place for a hungry bear. But bears have a strong smell, and we only smelled roasting meat on the night wind. We were on an island in the stream. The country around was flat, and the stream divided into two forks. The island lay in the middle, covered with cottonwood and quaking aspen. It was easy to go through the trees without being seen. That is why the horsemen did not see us. They had come from the north, down the right fork of the stream, and now they were near the island's edge. They rode silently, two men on spotted horses. "Who are they?" my cousin whispered. I knew who they were. "Minnetarees," I said. The Minnetarees traveled far on their spotted horses. They went out on long hunts to plunder their neighbors, to kill men, and to capture women and children. They were our hated enemies. A pair of magpies skittered across the stream and set up a clatter. The men stopped to look at the sky, at the smoke rising above the trees. One of the men was very tall, and his hair was cut short to his head, a sign that he was in mourning for someone dead. I dropped the basket of black caps. "Follow me," I said. "We'll go to the other fork and back to camp." Running Deer started to say something. I held my hand over her mouth. I had seen that there were more than two horsemen. Minnetarees never raided in twos, always in bands, stealthily and at supper time. They had raided us before. once when I was 3 and another time when I was 7. On those raids, they had killed many of our men and carried off 8 of our young women and twice that many of our children. Hurry, I said. Come quietly and say nothing. We waded out to the middle of the stream. Our camp was at the far end of the island. High in the trees, I could see the glow of our fires. All the dogs in the camp were barking, which meant that my people were warned. Run, I said to my cousin. Run in the shallows, under the trees where the footing is good. I heard a sharp sound like a tree breaking in the wind. Then another sound, and another, 3 altogether. It was the sound the fire sticks made, the weapons that spit smoke and fire, things the Minatories had bought from the white traders. I overtook Running Deer. Stay where you are, I told her. Stay and be silent. I ran fast in the shallow water, but at a bend in the stream, the water grew deep and tugged hard at my legs. I could hardly move. There were more crackling sounds from the fire sticks. Then it was very quiet. But the quiet did not last. The summer grass blazed up and the trees began to burn. A woman screamed. The burning trees cast a light far up in the stream. Night had come on fast, but I could see that our men had left the island and were fleeing north. Close behind them rode a band of Minatories on their spotted horses. I waded out to a sandbar and lay flat in the cold sand. Though there was still a smoldering light in the sky, it was dark where I lay. Some Minatories moved out of the camp, driving a herd of neighboring horses before them. They shouted Minatory words, "Aye, aye, aye, aye," boasting of their victory. Cautiously, I got to my feet and started toward the island. I came close to our camp. Grass was on fire. Trees were on fire. Dead people lay everywhere. I saw my mother. She was not moving. And when I screamed, a Minatory, the tall one, came out of the cottonwoods. He was dragging Running Deer behind his horse. He threw a noose around my neck and choked me until the night grew black. And that's the end of chapter 1. I'm wondering if you think you know who the character is who's speaking. I'm not going to tell you. I want you to see if you can guess.